So the question is the heat on? The heat is on. I literally just turned my thermostat on to turn the heat on here in the house. And I, like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you heard this or not, but it could be worse. It is 55 here today, 55, and it was like 90 something last week. And why do I say it could be worse? I say it could be worse because literally in Denver, I want to say it was Denver, they had 100 and something degree temperatures the other day, and now it's 18, and they've got a couple of feet of snow or something crazy. I got friends out in Denver, and I'm watching this. I'm like, that's incredible. But there's this piece of me that's kind of like, I don't know, frugal, or I don't know how to explain it, but there's this piece of me that's like, wait a second, it's September. Are we allowed to turn the heat on just yet? But then I also remember I live in Michigan. So I'm just curious, do you have your heat on? I've got to know, is your heat on? Margie says, no, not yet. But Margie, when do you, I know we have this conversation every year, but when do you cross that? Like, when do you cross that threshold? When do you say, okay, it's all right. Like, I feel good about putting the heat on now. When do you hit that point when it's is it a point on the calendar, or is it more about like, all right, here we are, 40 degrees, 50 degrees. Now, it's one thing at night. It's a whole nother thing like during the day. 55 degrees. Now, during the day inside this house, it's 66 right now. I know. And look, I mean, I should probably, maybe 100 pounds ago, I was able to handle this a little bit. But when you see, I got the hoodie on. I had to put the hoodie on today. And I broke out, but I'm still wearing the shorts. So that's one thing. I'm not officially wearing pants, but yeah, I had to get the winter jacket out. I got the winter jacket going, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is I don't know, maybe this is time, huh? I don't know. I feel like I had to just take a pull because I feel like I'm going, this is a weird year. 2020 is a weird year, but we live in Michigan, and looking back, I remember I kind of remember previous years, September's, it gets cold, it gets rainy. This is the kind of thing that it does happen. It's not like it's not completely unusual. It's been a kind of a weird year. Yes, we heat with a wood stove, so it takes a lot more than this to make me admit defeat. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. I just go to the Nest and I click it, or I can do it on the phone, and then, boom, you're there. Isn't that something? We heat with a wood. That very solid point. Very solid point. I'm thinking about this the other. This is a whole other conversation for another time. But I think part of the problem we have now is life is too easy. Now, look, I love the easiness. I love how things are so easy. But in a lot of ways, we've completely lost track of like what life, like where things come from and how things really work. Like we're completely unattached from reality. You don't have to look much further than what you see in the news, the headlines. How crazy it can get. And I think part of this, has to do with the fact that we've lost track. And hickory tree aviary, you guys know, apiaries, you guys know. You're on a farm. You are doing things that require work. So you're like completely attached to reality. Farmers, I think farmers have the best grasp and grip on this than anybody. I was writing about this and thinking about it the other day. I really do feel like it's a very simple thing that we forget even like where our food comes from. We don't know. The store and you see the kids like the hot dogs, or they may see like, um steak or chicken. You have no idea where it comes from. You have absolutely no idea. It says that's why our children raise the farm animals that feed us. I want them to be raised with a sense of value when it comes to life and food. Okay. So we got to talk. We got to talk because I want to talk to you a little bit about this. Like I said, this is kind of like a thing I've been thinking about lately, and I've been writing, and I think I've got something that I'm putting on paper for book form that I think might be helpful. Um, because, like I said, I think you walk down the aisle at the supermarket, you see things and now all of this got completely interrupted. You think about like the illusion, and I don't know if you remember. It's been a while. It's not been a long time in like time wise, but like if you go back to March, so much has happened since March. But if you go back to March and you think about everything that we've been through since then, but remember that time frame, it was very strange, it was surreal, and it was kind of scary. I remember because I've been leaving the house, I've been going to work, I've been doing all of this, right? Since since this whole thing began, right? The pandemic or whatever, right? Since it all began. I've been leaving the house, going here, going there, doing all the shopping and everything that um so I remember the time when you looked on the shelves and the toilet paper wasn't there. Now, I know like that's kind of funny and we sort of joke about the toilet paper, but it was bigger than that. I remember the looks in people's faces, the desperation and the like and the really the confusion and the thought of like what in the world is happening right now? What's going on? And anyway, that to me stood out because at some point there was this the curtain was pulled back. The illusion of hey, like there's always food here and it's all, it's never going to be a problem and like you just go to the grocery store and things are just there for you. That illusion was shattered. It was completely shattered. And so I think we're getting back to, and I was, yeah, Steve says it's a reality check. It was. But I think it really brings us back to some of those, I don't know, some things to think about. Margie says, not yet on the heat. So the question is, your heat on? Now, Lizzie and I are, she's just getting back. She's getting her nails done. She's 15 weeks today, 15 weeks. And if you saw my email and you wrote me back, I saw like I had a slew of them. I wrote an email last night to talk about an announcement to say, I wanted to make sure I shared this, but we're pregnant. She's pregnant. I'm just here along for the ride and the support. I mean, I played a role, but we won't get into that now. But I sent this out and I said 14 months, and people said, "No, I think that's a typo. You might want to correct this." Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Well, I feel sorry for Lizzie. But so I sent that out last night. And by the way, if you're not getting my good news, justinbarclay.com, justinbarclay.com/good news. I'll make sure that that people know and hang on. Actually, if you want to come on over, I'll put the link. I'll put the link up so you can check it out. But I'm just blown away at how cold it got and how quick it got. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm paying attention to other things this year. And it feels like the summer flew by, but it's been an amazing summer. That's why I'm thinking about it. Is your heat on? Margie said not quite yet. And so that's the other question is what does it take in order, to get that to make sure that that heat gets on? What does it what is the what's the bridge you have to cross? Joe's got a really good answer here, and it's just a calendar answer. And so this was my question: is it a number on a calendar, or is it like the chill, the number on the air? Joe says no. We hold out till October 15th. And Joe, the man inside of me says yes. That's the way to be. You hold out, but then October 15th is like a month from now. But I'm thinking I could be warm this entire time. Jason says heat will not get turned on till November. So Jason has senior man card, Joe, and he has upped it. He's up at a notch. A full 15 days. Yeah, Margie said in Colorado it was 101 the other day, and now it's winter, like winter weather advisories. Helga says she turns the heat on, takes the dampness out. Drinking some chai tea right now too, Helga. That's not that sounds good. I like that. Christine said, I've only turned it on to make sure it still works. Well, there's that too. And I thought maybe that's a good idea. Just kind of test it. And we should probably get the heating, the furnace inspection and all that done too. Yeah, there's a smell of dust burning Margie's talking about. I hope that's not anything too weird. By the way, if you want to get my good news letter, as I'm just kind of wanted to hop on and say hi before we're going to go run to lunch real quick. It's justinbarclay.com/good news. And I share something in there coming out later today in a couple hours. We were doing Tech Talk Tuesday today on the radio, and it's an app that I use that literally every time we go to lunch saves money out of nowhere. And I don't really have to do anything or thinking about anything too crazy. And I'll show you. I think I might even have it on here. Yeah. So if you want to know more about this app, okay, cool. It runs in the background. I just log on, like put my cards on it, debit card, credit card, whatever. And then as long as I use that card when I go out to eat someplace or, buy stuff either online or in a store, it sends me cash back. And Karen sent me this amazing, I got this message that Karen had actually used it and got her cash back for the first time the other day. And I thought that is awesome. So I shared that in the email. That's part of the good news. So if you want to know more about it, I mean, back to school, like any brand you can think of, right? Back to school, online shopping, clothing, but then there's retailers. You can look at the map by us. So there's all these different locations that pop up, and there's a couple of great places that we actually go to on a regular basis, restaurants in town that give you 3%, 4%, 5%, 2%. Let's see, brands. Ooh, the candied yam. I haven't been in person, but I've had their food, and it is amazing. My good friend Jessica and Tyson, they've got a 5% back at the candied yam. So what happens is a lot of time we'll go to dinner or lunch or whatever, and then I'll get a message on my phone that was like, hey, you just got X amount of dollars cash back from the candy yam. Anyway, if you want to know more about that app, like I said, it's amazing. It's I'm kind of floored every time we get those messages, but it's a really cool app. And if you want to know more about it, I sent it out in my good newsletter today. Now, if you aren't already on the good newsletter, now's the time. Just go on over to justinbarclay.com/good news, and I will be sharing those things with you. It's very simple. And you get all kinds of good stuff. Plus, you know how the news is crazy these days? It's crazy. Well, I'm sharing all kinds of stories, good stories that you're going to want to hear about because it's not all bad news. That's the thing in my job that I get to see up close and personal on a daily basis that I want to make sure that, I share with people. It's not all bad news. Keith says, nope, doesn't go on until late October. Mike says, my dad left his at 72 year round. If the heat came on, he said it was because it needed to. I also respect that, Mike. I like that. Jackie says, no, the heat isn't on yet. The windows are still open. Wait a minute. Jackie, are you in Michigan? Are you watching this from Michigan? Oh, thank you, John. John says you're going to be an awesome daddy. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. That's so nice of you. We are so excited. We're really looking forward to this. And like I said, she's 15 weeks now, not months. I got to make sure. But the countdown is on. And we went to Bye Bye Baby for the first time yesterday, just to like see what's in there and see like what they have. And all I can say is I'm just like floored with the amount of stuff that they got going on in that store. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. And I things I never even thought of before. Oh, thank you. Hickory Tree Farm apiaries. Our food system is hand to mouth, small scale, of far more sustainable while less cost efficient. Efficiency is not always what is most resilient. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you more about that in the future because I've got some questions and I kind of feel like everything you need to know in life you can learn on a farm. And I've felt this way for a while now, and I think there's a lot about hope and faith and just things that we've gotten and found ourselves so distanced from in the recent years. And I don't know. I just feel like it's worth a share. And I don't know. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I'm crazy. You tell me. But that's it. Anyway, Lizzie's almost here. As soon as she pulls in, Daisy's going to start barking, and then I'm going to know she's here, and we're going to run out to lunch. I have no idea. What sounds good for lunch? What are you doing for lunch? Are you doing anything special? Where should we go? I've got a couple of places that I really like. Oh, yeah. Steve says, I don't turn mine on until it's below 60, which is usually February. Now ask me that next month after I've moved back up north. That's true because that's Arizona for you, right? So you're moving. That's awesome, man. Are you looking forward to going back? I would imagine that you probably are. I would imagine that being able to go back up north is going to be a good thing for you guys. Jennifer says, "Heck no, not until October on the heat." There's my alarm clock. Well, that's it. I'm glad we got a chance to say hey and chat for a little bit. Again, justinbarclay.com/good news. justinbarclay.com/good news. If you haven't got a chance yet, go check it out. justinbarclay.com/good news. I send out all kinds of good stuff in the good newsletter. I love you. Have a great day. Make it a good one. Bye-bye.